Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the entire month of June, we talked about local businesses, import substitution, how to really get to a point where made in Ghana products are dominating every corner of this country. And our personality today has been doing it for the past 26-something years, okay? She's dominated that space. She has a very inspiring story, and she's going to show us that it's possible for Ghanaian brands to actually succeed in Ghana. We have a quick intro video from her. Once we watch it, I'll tell you all about her. Let's take a look at that video.
Hello, welcome to Eden Tree. Edusei. I'm the Managing Director of Eden Tree Limited. At Eden Tree Limited, we are producers of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and juices. And talking about our day, we bring in produce from our farmers, our outgrowers. We bring the produce to the central point, which is where we are now. And then there's a department that's called intake. That department receives the products, checks whether it's okay. If it's not okay, we reject it. If it's okay, then it goes through for production. And production starts whereby it's sorted, it's trimmed, it's washed, and it's disinfected. Then it comes onto the production floor from the intake department. And then on the production floor, there's a washing area. After it's been washed, there's a department that's the processing department. So some of the products either go to the processing department or they go to the packaging department, because we pack whole as well as we do processed. From the washing area and the packaging area, the products go to the dispatch area. And the dispatch area is where they get counted for the different clients, and then they get crated, and then they put in the refrigerated van, and then it goes for distribution. What does not leave on that day is put into the chiller. And the chiller is where it is temperature controlled. With perishables, you have to keep them under cold temperature to keep them safe. At Eden Tree, one of our main goals is to ensure that we give our customers safe food to eat, and that's our #1 goal.
So that's Catherine Krobo Edusei, CEO of Eden Tree. Her team, they've been doing this for years, just making sure that you and I can get good food, safe food, prepared under hygienic conditions so that we take care of our health. She's our personality today, so if you have any questions for her, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550 585832. If you're watching us from outside Ghana, please use the country code +233. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to talk about Eden Tree and everything else, but where did you start? Where did you grow up? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, I grew up in Ghana until I was about 18.
Okay.
I went to Westlake Grammar Secondary School, and then at 18, I decided to go abroad. Okay. I went to the UK, where I continued my studies. I went to Camden College, and I did administration. And then after that, I joined the bank. So I worked with the bank for about 10 years. And then I had my babies. And when I had my babies, I had two, one right after the other. I hadn't planned the second one. It just happened. It was a surprise.
Thank God he came for his handsome. Is it like the girl that's the eldest, or the boy that's...
The boy is the eldest.
Okay, so
and
the girl
girl is the
surprised
second.
you.
Yes.
And she looks just like you. We're looking at a picture here.
Oh, okay, yes.
Is that her?
Yes, that's her.
So at this time, you were not prepared.
I wasn't prepared at all, but, you know, it came, and, you know, God being so good, you know, he helps you out. So I decided to resign because I didn't want to go back to the working environment with two babies for someone else to care for, I thought it was too risky. So,
and the childcare system out
and
of
the
Ghana is
childcare
something
system
else.
is in fact it's so expensive that you find that you are working for
the
childcare. So, and I thought about it with my husband then, who unfortunately we got divorced later. But I wanted them to get to know Ghana.
Yeah.
So here I am. I've resigned because I don't want to leave them with someone. So what do I do? Why do I stay there? Let me come home.
Wow.
And that's what brought me here.
How was that transition like? I mean, leaving Ghana at 18, going abroad, and then coming back with 2 babies?
It was scary. You know, when you get used to a lifestyle, it's very difficult to tear yourself away, especially when you don't know what you're heading for. It's the unknown. So I was scared, but for the children's sake, I said no. I want them to get to know where they come from. And I also felt that it was important to raise them when they are young at home, and then when they are also at around 15, 16, 17, then they can travel out, but at least they are grounded. You know, they know where they come from.
So how did you find yourself in Agric? Because, I mean, you're coming from banking 10 years. The convenient thing to do was just apply for one of the banks here, maybe get some expatriate salary and live a good life.
I almost did that, but before I came, I made an agreement with the children's father that I was not going to go back to the formal space so that I can raise them and be close to them. So when I came, it was difficult. I take them, drop them off at school. What do I do? Nothing to do. So I almost applied, and at that time it was Prudential Bank. You know, this was what? How many years ago? Yes, about 1996. So it was Prudential that was reigning, and I almost did. But then my sister, my big sister, told me that you made an agreement, and God is a God of agreement. So get down on your knees and pray on what to do. Okay, and that's just what I did. I prayed. And you know, sometimes you have to be open-minded, and thankfully I was. Because when the idea started dropping, you know, planting, farming, you know, it was like, that's not my background.
And this is the 90s. Farming was not sexy. Even today, young people don't find it sexy.
Everyone looked down on farming. You know, farming was not like...
Now they were saying agribusiness and making it look sexy.
My colleagues in London, when they heard that, I'm planting, they said, what? What is wrong with you? But then I think later on, they caught on because I wasn't just planting, you know, there was a lot that I had to do. And prayers was also a big part of it, you know, because I have a strong faith in the Lord. And with all the hurdles and all the challenges, if you have God by you, you just manage it.
What was your first year like? Because when we see the success, it looks like, oh, she's just been lucky, she's fortunate. But walk us through some of the challenges you faced your first couple of years. Okay,
the first year, I was the one who was waking up at 4:30 a.m. every day, go out and source, because I agreed with farmers. I was planting the herbs, the farmers were planting the vegetables, because I realized that they didn't know much about the herbs, so I decided to focus on that. 4:30 a.m., go source, bring back, and children, I had 2 house helps that I started with, so there are 3 of us. I was the driver, I was doing the packaging, I was doing everything, and then I would take the children to school, and then drop them off at school, come back, then go through with my helps. We wash, we disinfect, we package. Of course, I had to cast my mind back to how the products were packaged in London. You know, I'd go to the supermarket, Sainsbury's, etc., to buy the stuff. So I had to try and ensure that it's similar, you know, because your packaging has to be attractive. So I'll come back, do that with my helps. After that, then I drive out to the supermarket. I remember the first day I presented the fresh herbs on a tray. the manager at the only supermarket in town then, called Quattons, looked at me and asked me, what is this? So I said, oh, these are fresh herbs for cooking. Then he shrugged his shoulders. He said, okay, I'll display it. If it sells, I'll pay you. If it doesn't sell, you come and collect everything. And I said, cool, deal.
That's fine.
That's fine. We shook hands. I came the next day, everything was gone.
What?
Yes, everything was gone.
Let's take a step back, because for a lot of businesses, a colleague of mine, David Donu, wants to get into agribusiness, but he looks at your business and he's thinking he needs to get a 10-man team, he needs to be a CEO, without understanding that you have to start small, and all the things you're eventually going to employ people to do, you have to know how to do it yourself. So how important is that?
It is key, because I started with 2, okay, and I had to study them. You know, managing staff is a different problem altogether. You know, I had to study them. And it was at that time, so slowly, it got to a point when I got to about 4, then I resigned myself to the fact that, okay, if I'm going to do this, then I'm prepared to say the same thing every day. You just have to program your mind. And you can do that when you're studying, you know, what you're doing. You're studying the people, you're studying the market. If you move straight on, it's not safe.
And how were you able to also, you're a startup, but you still had a global mindset that even though it's just me and my 2 house helps, when someone goes to the supermarket, they should get the same experience they will get if they were buying a product made by a multinational?
Okay, I'd say that my exposure being outside helped me with that, because I was coming from an environment where all those things are structured, you know, you're used to them. So in coming back, I was determined to try and do things with structure, you know, and then give their consumers an alternative. And like the previous CEO said, you have to be able to match the foreign stuff, you know, with what you're doing here. So with that exposure, you know, I was able to try and get as close as possible to the fact that even I was hearing people saying that, hidden tree, it's from abroad. You know, their products are not here, they're from abroad. You see, so you study the market and then you ensure that you give the market what the market needs. You know, that's how to succeed.
Viewers, we're still talking to Catherine Krobo Edusei. She's the CEO of Eden Tree, okay? If you go to any supermarket in this country, you will see her fruits, her veggies. They have some fruit juices that are coming out, so they're pretty much dominating the whole space. So if you have any questions for her, please let us know. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550 585832. If you're outside Ghana, please use the country code +233. How difficult was it for you when you started? Because this is the 90s, right? In the past 10 years, we've been advocating a lot for made in Ghana, but back then, there was this notion that all things imported were somehow superior.
Yeah.
So how were you able to overcome some of these challenges?
Yes, so that's why I said you have to make sure that your product is a quality product, because that's what they're looking for. Already you are having to battle with the fact that, okay, if it's good, then it's from outside. So how do you get in there? You make sure that your product looks almost the same as what's coming in. So that, in fact, I'm sure that probably consumers that were buying the products thought that they were coming from abroad. So, but I kept quiet about it because that's probably what is selling the products. But at the beginning, it was difficult because even when I went to seek funding, they didn't understand what I was doing. They had no idea, so I just didn't get it. But later on, I was grateful.
How did you feel when you didn't get it?
It was like, okay, I'm a woman, and farming is not sexy. Farming is like, no. People think that it's those who didn't go to school or who didn't finish school. They are the ones doing farming. So nobody was interested, you know, in cultivating crops. So, but later on, I was glad that I didn't get the funding because, like I said, you know, God guides your steps. at that time, if I had gotten the funding, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. So it was a slow growth. And for me, I think the slow growth was good, you know, because then you study what you're doing, you know, you make a loss here, you make a gain here, you have to do your pricing right, the market, you have to corner the market, you know, before you start going to get big loans. If you don't, you'll fall flat on your face because you have to pay back. Yeah. And paying back is stressful, and the interest rates too. They're very high. So if you're not careful, you'll end up working for the bank or working for those who lend you the money, you know.
Now, if you were to be in a different country, like a more developed country, you'd probably be collaborating with commercial farms where they just dump all the products in, you just package and call it a day. But you're working with, what, over 150, 125 smallholder farmers. How was that relationship like in the beginning, and how have you been able to really get a strong hold of that?
I think God put me where I came to and where I am, because I realized that if I was out there, I'd be competing with so many people and nothing will be different, and I probably won't be as successful as I am now. But we also need that skills, that expertise for our country, for our people here. So working with the farmers here, you know, I see ourselves as the bridge. We were the bridge between the farmers and the formal retail space, because the farmers didn't understand the language. We understood the retail space language, and the language is food safety, packaging, customer service. Now, this is something that the usual smallholder farmers don't understand this language. So I was fortunate to be able to come up with a concept that we will be the bridge between the two. So I feel that I've been able to create something. I've been of service, you know, to some people. And then the other side too is that we were able to provide nutritional products, you know, for the consumer. Sometimes some of our products, you don't have to stand in the kitchen to now peel garlic, to now peel ginger, to do everything. Now you can just pick these things up off the shelves. Your salads, your cut-ups, you don't have to. This time we have lots of women out there working, you know, they come back home, they're tired. So you just pick up this, toss everything up, get your grilled chicken, put it together, you have a meal. And nutritional, it's a balanced diet, good to go, you know. So I believe that myself and my team, we have contributed to something in Ghana, and that makes me happy.
You definitely have. At what point did you realize that I'm on the right path and this is going to take off?
Okay, naturally, I'm a go-getter person. I don't give up, and I go and go and go till I get it. You know, that's what drives me. So I think that helped. So even at times when I get deflated, I still get up and move. I said, no, I've got to do this. I've just got to do this. And I think that's also part of the success. I don't give up easily.
Wow.
And even I'm sure that if you ask my staff, they will tell you that, oh, Charlie, I'm a hard person, you know. I'm a hard person. I don't take no for an answer, you know. I look at problems and I say problems are meant to be solved. Problems are part of life. God did not tell us, oh, the world is going to be problem-free. No. So you have to solve problems. Bring me a problem, we find a way to solve it. So I don't take no for an answer. I drive them, you know. We have to solve the issue.
So obviously I'm a consumer of your product, and anytime I visit the supermarkets, the thing that fascinates me is no matter what day of the week it is, there's a fresh Eden Tree product sitting there. And for me as a consumer, it just looks like magic. I just go and it's there, it's not expired, it's fresh. How have you been able to consistently serve your market the way that you do?
It's a commitment. My team, you know, I show my team that this is what we are doing. We have to be committed. And to be honest with you, there was a day that I woke up and I panicked.
Why?
That, gosh, what if we stopped and we didn't send things out? What would happen?
The people like me will come after you. Where's my lettuce? I'll find you. We'll pick it on one of your plants.
There was a time when there was a shortage of something that we just couldn't get. We started getting calls. Where is this? Where is that? Where is that? And that's when I panicked. I said, whoa, the day we stop, oh, we're going to be getting lots and lots of calls, you know. And you have to be consistent, because you don't know when the customer who wants your product, you don't know when he or she is going to be going to the supermarket to pick your stuff. You don't want that customer to go there, oh, today, sorry, no eating-free products, they're closed. No, definitely not. So every day, in fact, we supply every day, except Sundays, which is for God. You know, we go to church. Every day, the whole year, even some holidays, we still supply.
Now, I told the viewers earlier, they're watching some of the stuff on the screen. Some businesses, right, on the surface, they look like, oh, it's good, it's well packaged. When you actually go inside, there's a lot of booga going on. We visited your factory yesterday, and I was blown away by the systems in place, all the way from who takes the product from the farmer, who ensures that it's clean, who makes sure that the quality control at every step, from taking it to the farmer to actually putting it on the car to drop off at the supermarket. The whole thing was just so seamless. How were you able to put such a structure in place?
It's being consistent, dedication. That was one of my goals. I said to myself, if I am going to present a product to my customer or the consumer, it must be something that I myself can consume. And that promise that I made, I stuck to it. So I ensure that we do not compromise on quality. And like I told someone, that if we had been dealing in oil or gold, we would be fabulously rich by now. But because of our costs, because we have to go through the right channels and ensure that we don't cut corners to make huge profits, we are consistent. And we are not rich, but we are able to eat every day, and that's enough for me, so long as that it is safe for the consumer. So I think it depends on the head and what you communicate to your staff. If they understand, then you're good to go. And you don't cut corners. Because once you compromise, they see that you compromise. That's it. They will also compromise.
Now, my next question for you is, of course, we are looking at the successes, but there must be challenges that you face. What are some of the challenges that you go through that you think that as a nation we need to?
Loads of challenges. The one challenge that I'll pick, and the reason why I'm picking this challenge is because it is not spoken of enough. It is not easy for a startup to say, okay, I want to start a business. Now they start a business and then they supply payments. As an SME will supply and not get paid for such a long time. And then meanwhile, that startup is expected to keep rolling, How is that startup going to keep rolling? Okay. I think it's high time that in policy, it's good to hear local content. But within that local content, there should be a period, a time frame that payment should be made. It's a cycle. So even the big conglomerates, the multinationals, okay, they are there, they are big. Someone may hear, oh, you are supplying a multinational. They think, wow, You are fortunate, you are lucky. But what they don't know is that the multinational or the conglomerate, they have their terms of payment, which can sometimes be 90 days. So then if you have a middle company, okay, that's supplying to the multinational is not paying the middle company. Okay, but now the middle company is not as big as the multinational, so there's an end to the pot. It will run out eventually. Now the middle company also has suppliers. This is where SMEs come in. After the SMEs, the small SMEs comes smallholder farmers. Now this is a chain. It goes right down to the smallholder farmer. That smallholder farmer can't afford not to get paid for 90 days. How? So those are the top that are not paying on time, are affecting the smallholder farmers. We need to turn that capital around. So sometimes it is not only the startup who is not willing to work, who is not putting their all in, but there can be a bottleneck. It is not easy to go to the bank and get funding. And even if you go to the bank and get funding, there's interest running. So now if you have to pay interest, you have to pay your staff, you have to pay all the things that you're buying, and then you've supplied this product, and for 90 days you haven't been paid. How do you carry on? So when the startup gives up, nobody understands why. These are some of the reasons. They are hidden reasons that don't get voiced out. And I think it is important for those in policy to start looking at that. SMEs, smallholder farmers, they don't have the funds to be holding on for 60 days, 90 days, 100 days before they get paid. It's not fair.
So when you say payment, is it payment from the people? Is it supermarkets? Is it agencies? All of it together?
All of it together. All of it together.
So how do you now survive? Because you have to pay your staff,
Exactly.
you have to pay your farmers.
These are the challenges. These are the challenges, because you wake up one morning, okay, my payments did not roll in. My funds, my inflows did not come in. Now, how do I pay the staff? Okay, so maybe the staff will get their pay a day or two late, sometimes even a week late. In West, we've gone through worst case scenarios where staff have received their salaries 2 weeks late. It's all about inflows and outflows. So as the funds are going out, the products that we are producing, that's the outflow. Inflows must come in to continue.
So Catherine, yesterday we were talking about how if you were to be an agribusiness owner in a different country, the nation would even subsidize the products that you're putting there to make your products a bit more competitive on the market. What do we need to do as a nation? Because we both discussed the whole 1% being put in agriculture over the past 4 years. What would we need to do to get the agri sector, and especially agribusinesses, to a point where they are really succeeding, the sector is thriving?
For me, I'd say this is a dream, which may be possible or may not be possible, but subsidizing farmers. Okay, farmers produce food. The more you go through population growth, the more food needs to be produced. So you don't want to get to a stage where you don't have enough food to feed the population. This is something that the West understands. That's why they subsidize their farmers. Okay? Because food, they need their food. They need to feed their people. Every day, children are being born. Every day, every second. We have to ensure that we invest into agriculture. Agriculture provides a nutrition as well. You know, we can't get up and, I mean, sometimes it's scary. If we don't produce the food, what are we going to do? And we can't eat corn every day, you know. or eat beans every day, or eat gari every day. It must be balanced. You must eat all the different foods from different areas that will give you the different nutritional needs that your body needs every day. And to build a healthy nation, people need to be healthy. I'm sure that our medical bills are so huge. When I hear things like young people are getting heart attacks, diabetes, this, that, it all stems from us not eating well. The key to eating well is our farmers, it's agriculture. How can we be a whole nation of 30 million plus and we've only invested 1% in agriculture? That doesn't balance. That does not balance. There are so many areas that are disconnected. We really need to start looking at connecting and making it possible. Sometimes the disconnect makes it difficult that you find the youth, they're not interested in going to agriculture because of the disconnect. Connect. We've got resources. I've said this and I will keep saying it. We've got water, we've got sun. We are blessed with sun. How many days of the year? We've got land. When you travel from one end to the other, you will see vast space of land. Connect the resources so that it works. A smallholder farmer has not got the means to do these connections.
Catherine, when it's all said and done, what legacy would you want to leave behind?
What I would want to see that Ghana, we are ahead, we are doing things. It would get to a point where we don't have to go and ask for aid, help, give me this, give me that. No. We should be self-sufficient. We should be manufacturing, producing here, not bringing everything. I was so happy to hear that toothpicks for the first time is being produced. That's fantastic. We should be manufacturing. We should have a good manufacturing base. We should have our youth going into engineering machines. Right now, if you want to set up a processing plant, you would have to go out there and bring the machines in. When you bring the machine in, most times people go to China to bring the machine in. When you bring the machine in, halfway through, you can't go and bring the Chinese man to come and fix the machine. So the machine breaks down. Now who is going to fix the machine? We need machinery produced here. Manufacturing base. We need to produce. We have to stop this quick import and export, that is the end of it. No.
Catherine, we can talk about this all day.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. We always talk about food security, where we need to get as a continent, and I'm privileged that you exist. You're part of the few people who are solving some of these issues, and I know that our viewers are watching and everybody's inspired to say, if Catherine can do it,
exactly.
Why can't
I said
we?
to the I'm a woman,
go ahead.
so
What would you tell the
I'm
women out
coming
there?
from the perspective of a woman. The ladies out there, if I can do it, you can do it. You can even do better than I am doing. So ladies, get up.
Where do we find Eden Tree? How do we contact you?
Yes, we are at the various supermarkets. Our processing plant is around the 80 community 18. The best way to get to us is off the motorway, then community 18 exit. The number is 0204 316 885. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram.
And you're in Max Mart.
And we're in Max Mart, we're in the Citi shops, that's now Spars, Bachona Total, Supermarket, Marina Mall. Please.
So many different places.
My customers, if I don't mention one person,
they just go to social media and find out where you are. But you're a big woman. We are all so proud of you. I mean,
thank you.
You make it possible for all of us to see opportunities within the Agric space, right? Yes. And the reason we brought you here is so that young people who are watching us can see that it's possible to find. If you want to create machines, there will be demand for it. If you want to create packaging, there will be demand for it. Whatever it is you want to do in that space, there's already a market that will demand it to help feed Ghana. So thank you, Catherine, for your